Now, what we know is that the insula and the prefrontal cortex are both intimately involved in this conversation that establishes which rules are appropriate for a given situation. So, for instance, if somebody were to say something that quote unquote triggers me, okay, I'll use myself as the example, right? Maybe someone will tweet something and I'll think, and I immediately want to respond in a way that I know I can kind of flip them on their back immediately. But then I think, maybe I want to refrain from that for any number of different rules or reasons, right? Prefrontal cortex, in particular, the left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, is in an incredibly unique position to not only establish different rules depending on context. And the way it does that is by accessing memory. So the hippocampus has access to prefrontal cortex and vice versa. It's almost always a reciprocal conversation. So it can pull memory thinking, the last time I responded like that didn't get me the result I wanted. Or the last time I responded in this other way, I got the result I wanted. Again, regardless of situation. The other thing that the left dorsolateral prefrontal cortex is exquisitely positioned to do, and this is beautiful work of a colleague of mine by the name of Nolan Williams, also in psychiatry, is because of its connections to some structures that then feed into the vagus nerve, it actually can slow the heart rate down. So in other words, let's say someone says something and your immediate impulse is to fight or to respond in a kind of knee-jerk way. If you halt, right, I guess what the meditators and the mindfulness folks was called the gap, or if you can access some memory and think, and you might be thinking, actually there's a much better way to place the dart if I just kind of lean back a little bit, or it could be, silence might be the best response, right?